Hi everyone, today's recipe is vanilla ice cream and we've got mixed berry sorbet. Oh my goodness, now today when we film this it's 35 degrees and so it has just been perfect. So let me just show you beautiful scooping and oh my goodness, so excited about this. And it's a no churn ice cream, which means we haven't used any fancy machinery. This has all been done with little tips and tricks that we've learnt along the way. All right, let's get cooking. What we're going to do is we're going to start with our vanilla ice cream base. So this ice cream base you can add all sorts of flavors to, and I personally am just going to make a nice vanilla sorbet. A nice vanilla ice cream. So I'm going to keep it really simple, but you guys can put whatever flavors that you want to. So as you can see, not very complicated. You've got 2 cups of whipping cream. So that's just your normal cream. 2 cups of cream, 400 grams of sweetened condensed milk. Great, I've got mine there. I've got 2, but I'm only going to need 1. Great, I've just got my Aldi sweetened condensed milk. You're going to need some vanilla extract. Mohammed, have you got vanilla extract or have you? Yep, great, all right, fantastic. Great. And then, of course, if you've got any little extra bits, if you want to do chopped chips or strawberries or fruit or whatever, ice cream is a really fantastic way to use up little extra bits to be able to put it through. Excellent. And if you've got any more of your filling from a couple of weeks ago, I know I certainly do, but you know when we made the macarons and we made filling, I've got a little bit of extra chocolate, like the strawberry chocolate. So what you could do if you wanted to, if you had any left over, you could put some of that through this mixture at the end. That's if you had it left over. Great. I'm all for sort of keeping things in the fridge and then I bring them out to put into measuring spoons. You're going to need your measuring spoons just so that you've got the right measurements. You're going to need a large bowl. Let me grab my bowl. Large bowl. You're going to need a hand mixer. You can use a stand mixer, hand mixer, whatever you've got. You're going to need some spoons, like a nice big spoon for folding. So, and spoons and spatula, same thing. Or I've got as you can see in my overhead camera, I've got a couple of different kinds of spoons that I use. And I've just got a plain loaf tin, You don't really need anything fancy. I've literally got my loaf tin that I make banana bread in. You could, if you've just got a square tin that you cook cakes in, that's absolutely fine. Literally, this recipe is the easiest recipe that we can show you. It's fantastic. Oh, perfect, excellent. Great. Paige, what have you got, darling? Great. Layla, what have you got? Oh, you've got an ice cream. Oh, perfect. Excellent. Oh, that's brilliant. All right. Excellent. Great. And one thing that I didn't put on there and I just noticed is that you'll need some cling wrap. So grab that out of your cupboard. Okay, and I'm going to write that down. Sometimes when I do the recipe with you guys, I realize that there's something on the recipe that wasn't written down. So that is one of those things. Keeping it real, guys. Great. Okay, so cling wrap, great, fantastic. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is you're going to pour 2 cups of cream. Yeah, perfect, yeah. 2 cups of cream into your bowl. Whether you're going to mix it with your stand mixer, put it into your bowl. I just whipped some cream that I had this morning. So, okay, so Beautiful. So you're going to measure 2 cups. So get your measuring spoon. Sorry, your measuring cup, and you're going to pour your cream right up to the top. You definitely need the right amount. And then you go, yep, right up to the top. So if you just fill it 3/4 of the way, you've only got 3/4 of a cup. So we want to get it right up close. And if it helps you, put your cup down on the bench so it's really stable. And if you need help asking someone else, you can hold your cup with one hand and pour it, or ask someone to help you. So we put 2 cups of whipping cream into your mixer. Great. If you want to use your spatula to make sure you get all of that out, great. And then you're going to use either your stand mixer or your hand mixer. And I want you to beat your cream until you've got nice, soft, well, actually quite firm peaks. So when you whip your cream, what you don't want is butter. So we don't want butter, but we want our cream to be, and I'll just show you my finish. Let's see if I can do it. See, it's quite firm when I, let me just see. So I've got it on the edge here, and I can actually almost hold my spoon upside down and it's not falling off. So quite strong peaks. All right, so if you guys want to start doing that, we start our whipping on low. Always start your beating your cream on low, because your cream is quite thin at the moment. So we're going to start on low, and then you're going to, as the cream starts to thicken up, you can then turn it up to high. Always start your beaters on low. So we don't need to do anything else except for beating our cream. So if you guys want to start doing that now, then give me a thumbs up either in the chat or visually. Yep, once that's done. Else, while we're just waiting for Muhammad to catch up, what we're going to do is we're going to open up our condensed milk and pour it into our bowl. So just be careful. If you need help with the ring pull, just ask someone to help you. Yep. Again, I'm just putting my cream into my condensed milk. I'm just using a spatula just to do this. Okay, great. I'm just trying to get as much out of my little bowl as possible. Now, I don't want anyone mixing it yet. Just pour it in, using your spatula to get it out of your bowl. That's it. Great. Well done, Simone. Fantastic. Then once you've done that, I'll just wait for another 30 seconds. We're in no rush. Now, the reason that we use condensed milk in this recipe, I'll just wait for everyone. I'll start my little science spiel in a moment. Fantastic. That looks nice and, yeah, great. Excellent. We're just waiting for Layla to have her cream. I'll explain to you what we're going to do next. Now, because we're doing what's called no churn ice cream. So no churn means that we're not putting it into an ice cream maker, we're not beating it, we're not doing anything like that. And we're so simple. We're using, excuse me, itchy nose. We're using the condensed milk, and the condensed milk's really important because it's got lots of sugar in it, and it's been cooked down so that there's not a lot of liquid in it. There's not a lot of liquid. The more liquid that we add, or the more moisture that we add to this mixture, the more ice crystals will form. So we've got our condensed milk for sweetness and for texture. Then we've got our cream for beautiful creaminess. Then we're going to put in some vanilla extract. Now, the reason we use vanilla extract is there is a minute amount of alcohol in this. So, because vanilla gets, what's the word? Stored in vodka, I think it is. And what happens is that it stabilizes the ice cream. So when I was growing up, we didn't use condensed milk, and therefore we had icy ice cream. I think I might have been telling you guys that last week. We want to use a little bit of vanilla extract. You can use a bit of salt. We might even put a tiny pinch of salt into our mixture. Some people like to put alcohol, whether it's bourbon or vodka or something like that. Obviously, with you guys, we're not cooking it, so you guys can't have any sort of alcohol in yours. We're using the vanilla extract. Great, the green one is perfect because it's actually got this tiny minute amount. So I want you to measure 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract into your mixture. Now, making sure, and I know I say it every week, don't measure the vanilla over the bowl. So we're not going to do it over the bowl. We're doing it to the side, and then we're going to pour it in. So you want 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So this is for flavor, plus it's also to make sure that our ice cream is nice and creamy. Beautiful. Then if you've got some salt, I want you to put a pinch of salt into your mixture. I've got my little salt thing, and I'm literally just going to put like a crack of my 1 turn of my salt mixture. I don't want anyone mixing it yet. Just leave it. We're putting all of our ingredients in. Great. Then with your container, what we want to do is I want you to get some cling wrap, and I'll just try to move. I'm just going to move that so that you guys can see on the camera what I'm doing. I'm getting my cling wrap, and I'm putting it all in the bottom of my container. And the reason I'm doing that is that it's going to be really easy to get out at a later date. So I've just lined my container with some cling wrap there. And I'll just move that out of the way because we don't need that for the moment. Perfect. Okay, Borgs and Co, you're ready to go. Okay, what we're going to do, and they're like, well, this next step is super easy. We're going to fold our mixture through. Now, if you want to put any fillings in, so remember I'm just doing vanilla, so I'm not putting any fillings in, but if you want to put some strawberries or some choc chips, or a drizzle of caramel or something like that, I want you to put that through now. So in terms of measuring, I would say you probably need 3 tablespoons of mixture because we don't want it to overpower. So if you're going to put some extra, whatever your fillings and your flavors are going to be, 3 tablespoons into your mixture. Great, perfect. And then once you've done that, whatever you do, I'll just show you what you're going to do next. Great. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold our mixture through. Now, let me show you before you go and do it. One hand firmly on your bowl. The other spoon, what we're going to do is you're going to take your spatula or whatever you're using, you're going to go all the way to the bottom and then turn it over the top, like literally like you're folding your mixture. Then you give your bowl a bit of a spin, then you do another one, then you give your bowl a bit of a spin, and you just keep spinning and turning, spinning and turning smooth. Now you'll find that you're trying to mix all of your mixture together, but it doesn't matter. You're wanting to get it mixed but not smooth so that you can't see any. You should be able to see little ribbons of flavour. So little ribbons of your cream and little ribbons. Do it about 20 times. Paige, did you put any flavours in yours? Okay, sure, yours is the same as mine. Fantastic. Great. Layla, did you put fillings in yours? Great, fantastic. Mohammed, did you put any fillings in yours? Great, all right, fantastic. Borg kids, did you put any flavours into your ice cream? Yeah, okay, fantastic. Now, so I'll just show you mine. I'm not sure whether you can actually see it, but it's kind of quite smooth. Then what I'm doing, once I've got that and I'm happy with that, I'm literally going to pour my mixture into, I'm just pouring it into my cake loaf tin. And I'm using my spatula because I want to get every ounce of gorgeous flavour out of my bowl. I'm using my spatula to go all the way around. Right. And then if you need to, like I found that my cling wrap's a little bit bubbly, so I'm just spreading that out just a little bit. Perfect. Great. Oh, that looks so good, Layla. So good. Yep, great. It's liquidy still, so it's not going to be thick like the whipped cream because the condensed milk makes it a little bit thinner. Great. And then once you're done, like I'm just going to fold my cling wrap across the top because we're going to go and put it into the freezer. I don't want it to get any other flavours from the freezer or get that horrible little freezer smell that things get. Great. Now the good news is it's going to be ready by tomorrow for a beautiful hot day. But the bad news is it won't be ready until tomorrow. So so it takes about 4 to 6 hours depending on the depth of your container. So mine was, you can see my loaf tin, it's going to take a long time for that to freeze. So I know that by tomorrow it will be perfect. Fantastic. So, and then because we've used that condensed milk, it should scoop up beautifully tomorrow. So that's it. How easy was that? So that's the vanilla, what is it called? The vanilla ice cream base. So like, again, you can add choc chips with some mint flavoring and some gel coloring if you wanted to make it mint and choc chip, or you could put strawberries through it, or you could put all sorts of, whatever your imagination is. If you've got some frozen mixed berries, you can put frozen mixed berries, all sorts of bits and pieces. So that part of it is ready to go. So all good. Do you want to wash out your, or just, we don't need, you're not going to need the, for the food process, sorry, for the fruit sorbet, you're not going to need your mixing bowl. So if you want to give that a quick wash out, you can do that now. Great. And then in about 1 more minute, we'll start on the fruit sorbet. Perfect. So it's funny, it sort of doesn't take a lot of time. It's more, yeah, it's just putting it together and then making something delicious. That is super easy. Great. So I'm just going to put my fruit under my cling wrap, but I'm also going to get out a baking tray. Now, if you've got a baking tray that's a little bit deeper, if you've got a higher sided baking tray, that would be ideal. All right. So while you're waiting, if you would like to do exactly what we did for the ice cream, we're going to cover our tray with some cling wrap. So you might need to do, I'm doing one side this way and then I'm turning it the other way and I'm doing it on the other side. So baking trays can have all sorts of bits and pieces on them. I'm doing mine a couple of times around because so Daisy, just to make sure that mine is nice and secure. Right, I've got my fabulous, and then I'm just going to put it to the side because we won't need that now. We're going to need that at the end. Brilliant. Fantastic. Now, does anyone already have your sugar syrup made? You do. Great. Fantastic. All right. Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I think it's really important. There's lots of times when we cook that things can be a bit tricky while we're learning them. So like Layla there is wrangling that cling wrap, and sometimes cling wrap has got a mind of its own. For those of you that have already done that, what we're going to do is always good to ask for help with things. The stove. Now, I'm just going to keep going. What we're going to do first, for those of you that haven't made your sugar syrup, what we're going to do is we're going to measure out 1 cup of sugar. Doesn't matter if it's caster sugar or regular sugar. So I've got my saucepan because we're going to measure it into our saucepan. So we're going to measure out 1 cup of sugar. Now, when we cook this sugar syrup, it is going to be incredibly hot. So it's so important that we're extra careful. So we're going to put our sugar straight into the saucepan. Sugar into the saucepan. Great, Layla's sister, for helping her. That's beautiful, darling girl. Great. And then we're going to pour 1 cup of water on top of our sugar. Damien, are you managing this one? Is that Damien there? Yep, great. That's okay, that's okay. I can see him in the background there. Simone, you're great. Oh, that's not Damien. Right. Oh, hello. Yes. All right. So once you've done your sugar, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the stove, bring it to the boil, and then turn it off. Because what we're doing is we're dissolving the sugar and what's it called? Dissolving? Dissolving, yes. So then it's, dissolving. And then it becomes really sweet water. And that's going to be really important for our sorbet. Great. Let me know once everybody's up to that stage. Wonderful. All right then. So the next thing you're going to do is I've got my blender here. Got your blender, food processor, whatever you want. You want to be able to get your fruit and you want to put it into your blender. So you might need help, you younger ones there. You're going to get your fruit, whoops a daisy, and put it into your blender. Great, I'm just... So depending on your, okay, my sugar water just boiled, so I've turned it off. So watching your sugar water as you go and making sure that your saucepan is turned right to the back because you don't want to accidentally bump it. All right, so I'm pouring my fruit. Great. I've just had a whole lot of bits and pieces, so I'm pouring it into my blender, and then I'm going to puree my strawberries and my berries. I've got all sorts of things. So I've got my lid. I'm going to mute my screen because I'm ridiculously loud and this machine is horrible. So you can see that. So let me just check in with everybody. So Paige, you're pouring yours in. Fantastic. Layla, are you pouring you've got your frozen berries? My sound off just for a moment. Hopefully it'll work for you guys. Otherwise it's super noisy. So just bear with me. Fruit pureed. What you're going to do is I've got a bowl and I've got a sieve and we're going to just pour, oops, daisy. We're going to pour our fruit into the blender. No, not into the blender, through the sieve. And ideally what we're wanting to do here is we're wanting to get rid of the seeds. So we're just wanting the fruit. Now some of mine hasn't blended very well. I think everybody has this problem. So just take your time. We're going to stir this in. Beautiful. And I'm just using my spatula, moving the fruit around so that the juice will go through. And I'm getting a nice little, I don't think I can move that from my camera to show you, but don't rush this step. Just take your time. Paigey, yep. Did you have a question? No? We're just moving everything around. Because what we're actually doing is you're moving the seeds around. So it just takes a bit of time so that the liquid will go through. So it's just a bit of a time-consuming thing. I've got a couple of strawberries that didn't blend very well, but I'm just going to take those out for the moment. Just so I hurry it along a bit so that... And you'll see just how much seeds are involved. Some people are allergic. I've got lots of berries here. Some people are allergic to strawberries. Not that they have an anaphylactic reaction, but sometimes people get skin rashes from too many strawberries. So just take your time. I'm not in a rush. So I'm just trying to get as much of this beautiful puree through the sieve, and you'll find that the seeds will be clogging up a little bit. So even if you have to go a little bit higher up the sieve, that's all I'm doing, is I'm literally just moving the pulp around, and I'm getting almost to the bottom now. We don't want those, you don't want to bite into your sorbet and get gritty, gritty seeds. I'm pretty much ready to go now. I think that is it for me. I'm just going to scrape the underside of my beautiful sieve here. Just want to get as much juice out as possible. Oh, smells so good. Great. Once you've done that, what you might want to do just to speed things up a little bit is to take another bowl. So I've got a different bowl here, and I'm pouring my sugar syrup. Being super careful, I've got two hands, and if your saucepan handle is hot, use a pot mitt or ask someone to help you. I'm just pouring my sugar syrup from my saucepan, and I'm putting it into another bowl. The reason I'm doing that is because the saucepan keeps heat in it, and we want our beautiful sugar syrup to cool down a little bit. So I'm just moving that into a different bowl, and I'm going to put mine near a window just to cool down a bit, because it needs to be room temperature. All right. What you want to do is measure. I've got my puree, and I'm going to measure 2 cups. So I'm just going to measure it into my other bowl here, just to make sure I've definitely got around the right amount. If it's a little bit more or a little bit less, it doesn't really matter. I'm just pouring my sugar syrup into the reason I'm doing this is literally just so I can measure it. I want to make sure that I've definitely got 2 cups of syrup, which I totally do have. so Paige, I'm just going to keep moving just while you finish that off. Now, you will have your puree. You've got your puree in this bowl. Don't do this yet. I'm just going to show you what we are going to do. Once your sugar water is cool, pour it into your strawberry pulp or your berry pulp, whatever you've got, and just give it a nice little stir around. You don't do it when it's hot. So once it gets to room temperature, what you need to do is when it comes time for your sugar syrup to go, you'll just need to put it back into the bowl again. Okay. I wanted to make sure that I had definitely had about 2 cups of the puree. So then I've added my sugar syrup. So in my bowl here, I've got sugar syrup and the puree. All right. So don't do that until your sugar water is just cooled down a bit. Now, the next bit, just watch me so that you can see. Mohammed, do you want to watch me so you can see what I'm doing? Great. All right. Now, I've got my tray with my cling wrap over it. I guarantee you will need help with this. So, because I nearly had an accident in my kitchen when I did it before, I'm just going to pour the sugar puree and all the rest of it onto my tray. You might find that it is easier to do it, like to put the tray into the fridge first and then get an adult to help you pour it in. So depending on the type of freezer that you've got, like I know for me, I couldn't put this into my pull-out drawers, but I can put it into my freezer that I can slide my tray into. So right now, that's what I'm just showing you because like it's liquid. So if I just try to pick this up now and move it, it's going to spill everywhere. Okay, does everybody understand what's going on there, Layla? Can you see that? All right, I know that I'll spill this. So I'm actually going to pour this back because I'm going to, I'm just going to pour it. I'm going to put my tray into the freezer and then I'm going to pour it in there. But just now I'm distressed because I'm worried that I'm going to spill it. And because we've used the cling wrap, which is great, it just means that we don't have as much room in our tray. All right. All right. So I'm going to do, now I've got one. Okay, does anyone have any questions about that? Yeah, do you understand? Yeah, so, oh, see, I've already spilled. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and get out of my freezer the tray that I did earlier so I can show you what to do once you've frozen it. Because once it goes in the freezer, it needs to freeze for at least 3 hours. So for you guys, that would be midnight or whatever. So put it in and then tomorrow morning it will be frozen beautifully. All right, I'm just going to go and grab mine from my freezer and I'll be back. All right, so now I've got my beautiful, beautiful frozen sorbet. So it's all, because it's so thin, it freezes really well. If you want to use a big, deep baking tray, you might find that to be a little bit easier. So there are 2 ways you can do this. I've seen people use a fork, like literally a metal fork, and start to scrape up their granita. Can everyone see what I'm doing here? That's one way you can do it, just with a fork. And then, because you're breaking up all the ice crystals, that's the most simplest way. Then you can put that into another container and then put it back into the freezer. What I'm going to do is pop it back into my blender, because you can put it into your, oops, Daisy. So I've got big chunky pieces of ice here, you can see. And I'm just going to blend mine up. Oh, so yummy. So I've got, yeah, big, you can see on my tray how I'm sort of breaking up my ice there. And I'm working quickly because I don't want my ice to break up too much. Like that's coming in a nice big chunk. Oh, so yummy. Smells incredible. I did mine at about 5 o'clock this afternoon. So that's been about 3 hours, and it's a really hot night tonight. So I'm just putting my beautiful ice all into that container. And you guys will do this in the morning or whenever you're ready. Oh, so good. A bit of sorbet and a bit of ice cream. Oh, yum. Oh. Now, my lid is there. I'm just going to give my mixture a nice big puree. So again, excuse the noise. I'll mute, sorry guys. All right, fantastic. So now my my ice is, my sorbet is icy. So I'm going to now put that into just a normal, regular, I've got some ice, just little containers like this that I've used before. And then I'm going to throw it back into the freezer. Make it nice and smooth as I can. And then it's going to be beautiful and ready for tomorrow. So it's icy and it's got a different consistency than our ice cream, our vanilla ice cream, because this is a sorbet and it's meant to be full of ice crystals. So because there's more liquid in this, then it's just got a different, it's got more of a sorbet, and the other one we made has more of an ice cream because we've got the cream in it. Great. And then I'm going to throw that back into my freezer, and it's smooth and beautiful. I'm going to put a lid on it and a lock and chain so no one else will have it in my family. And it is ready to go into the freezer. Fantastic. Okay, so if you want to pour your sugar syrup into your tray whenever you're ready, ask for help. If you're not sure, you don't want to spill your syrup all over your kitchen floor. you might find now that we've talked about it, you might find that it's better to put it into a big baking tray or into like a few different smaller containers. You just want that first freeze to be have enough to the what do you call it? The thinner that it is, the quicker that it will freeze. So again, you guys have got a few hours before tomorrow morning. Great. All right. Questions?